guys? TommyBoy601, and it is the Saturday before E3, which means it is time to do an E3 predictions video. So, before we get to my predictions, let's talk a little bit about your predictions. Now, I know this year E3 has been spoiled by quite a few little leaks, but if you have any predictions, go ahead, tell me them down below. I want to hear your predictions as to what is going to go on at this E3. So, let's get started with my predictions, and, well, let's get started chronologically and go first with EA, since their press conference is going to be tomorrow, Sunday, and, well, it's probably going to be your pretty standard affair for an EA press conference. I'm sure we are going to see Battlefield 1 bright and center on stage. They've kind of already announced that. I'm sure they will tell us about one of the new sports franchises and bring someone on stage who demonstrates that sports franchise. Let's just pray it's not Pele again, because that was terribly awkward the last time he came up. That was just painful for everyone. So I'm sure that will be there. I predict they will probably, well, of course, Mass Effect is going to be there, since that is supposed to launch next year, so they're going to need to show it to us. And I think EA is going to announce, first they're going to show off the Bespin maps for Star Wars Battlefront, and then they're going to probably announce the third-person action game about Star Wars they've been working on with Amy Hennig. I'm sure now is the time to kind of reveal that. Say, hey, first off, Battlefront, it's been awesome. Look at Cloud City. Love it. Look, there's Lando. He's awesome. And by the way, there's one more thing. New Star Wars game. Hopefully, I can only pray that it is the remnants of what 1313 was, because I really wanted a Boba Fett game, because Bounty Hunter was my first game on PS2, and I want to return to that. So, that's my predictions for the EA press conference. Now, Bethesda. Bethesda is going to be going on next, and it should be interesting. I mean, a lot of it has kind of leaked already, but we know that Dishonored 2 is going to be the big one for this one. They're going to probably dive deep, kind of like they dove deep into Fallout last year. They're going to dive real deep into Dishonored 2. They're probably going to follow that up. I'm going to guess there has been all those rumors about an HD Skyrim, and I don't doubt them, because for one, they said last year, oh, by the way, we ported Skyrim to the next generation of consoles. We just have been kind of holding on to it, and we don't plan on releasing it, but let's face it, the money bug bit them. They're totally releasing it. So yeah, let's be honest here. It's probably going to be coming out fairly soon. Beyond that, I don't know what else to really expect. I could see them announcing either Wolfenstein 2, New World Order 7, whatever, the next Wolfenstein game, or maybe Quake. Who knows? Those are like the two franchises that they still have, and they have a developer who hasn't really been said anything. Whoever did was it id? They have the id license, or yeah, that game that came out like a couple years ago that was very generic but looked freaking gorgeous. That one, development team hasn't been doing anything, so they could be doing something. Who knows? We'll see what they have. So that wraps up the press conferences from Sunday. Now going into Monday, and Monday is going to kick off with Microsoft. And they have a jam-packed press conference already, like, of what we know, and they always like surprising us with a couple of things. First off, we know Halo Wars, Crackdown 2, Sea of Thieves, Cuphead. I'm going to say, I feel like I'm missing a couple others. I'm sure. Oh, Gears of War. Like, that's 5 games. That's 5 games already that we don't even, like, before their even press conference even starts with, like, the one more things. Then there's been all those rumors about the Xbox One Scorpio version, the up-powered and better resolution. I don't think it will be this year. I think this year they say, here is a lighter, here's a slimmed down Xbox One. It's been, 4 years, 5 years? 4 years since the, it's been 3.5, 4 years since Xbox One, the original, the brick, it's like this big, it's huge. And I think it's time for a slimmed down version of that to come out. And then I think they go into Scorpio saying, oh, by the way, if you want something with more power, this is what's on the horizon for a year out. And I think they do that because I think they announce officially their partnership with Oculus. I think Oculus is going to be their ace in the hole, their little hidden, their big one, one more thing. I think that's going to be their try to knock out just to keep pace with PSVR. And it makes sense. There has been some rumors on the E3 page. There's developers who are developing for Xbox VR. So I think that has a pretty good chance of being announced this time around. Going on next is the Ubisoft press conference, and Ubisoft, I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, we just saw them. They just announced Watch Dogs 2 this week, so there goes that surprise. I think Ghost Recon Wildlands is going to be a big one for them. Maybe they say, oh, by the way, we have another Far Cry, because they've been pumping those out year after year after year after year, and that could be something that they come out with. And yeah, Ubisoft is always interesting. Maybe they bring back that like GoPro action game, that first-person action game, but who knows? Who knows what Ubisoft is actually going to do this time around? Since they don't have Assassin's Creed this time, so I feel like Watch Dogs is going to take the place of Assassin's Creed in their usual press conference lineup. And then let's talk about Nintendo, which has already said that they're not going to have much. Unfortunately, they've already been like, oh, by the way, that one that one console that we're planning on launching next year, not going to be here. No, I know you really want it, but we're still not talking about it. The only game you're going to see from us pretty much is going to be Legend of Zelda, which I'm not going to complain about. But Legend of Zelda, we need to see it, and it needs to wow us, and it needs to awe us, and it needs to shock us, and it needs to be freaking amazing, because they've already said it's a launch title for NX. So it needs to show its chops in order for the NX to be, well, salvageable and hopefully viable for a mainstream audience to pick up. The other thing we know that is going to be coming out with the next thing that Nintendo's going to be covering in their Treehouse Live is they're going to kick it off with some new Pokemon footage, which is always welcome, because I'm not going to lie, I bought a 2DS just in order to play the 3DS Pokemon games, and they've been fantastic, and I hope to continue playing these 3DS Pokemon games, and I want to see it. I'm excited. I'm sure like Metroid Prime Federation Force is going to be there, and I don't know what really else. I'm sure I know Sonic. Sonic is something that actually still alive on that platform. I know Sonic goes to Rio for the summer's Olympic Games. That's probably going to be on that Treehouse, but I don't think there's going to be very much from Nintendo, unfortunately. I wish that they would be like, oh, by the way, hey, guess what? NX is here. But let's be honest here, it's probably not going to happen this time around. Moving on to the last press conference of the day, it's going to be Sony. And Sony, they already came out and said no PS Neo at their press conference. Their up horse-powered console, which is kind of a shame, because I really would have loved to see it. I thought this press conference is going to be for them to push PSVR, because they don't really have very many first-party titles. I'm sure the new Destiny expansion is going to be on their stage. I'm sure Call of Duty is going to be on their stage. I'm sure they'll highlight one or two little indie games, and I'm almost certain that No Man's Sky is going to be on that stage again. And once they get those big three out of the way, I think they just need to hit it hard on PSVR announcements, saying, hey, this is what we got. Look, Microsoft, if Microsoft announces Oculus early in the day, they have to say, look, Microsoft just announced Oculus, but Oculus isn't a gaming company. They're Facebook. We're a gaming company. Here are all the great PlayStation experiences that you can have right here on PSVR, and this is why you need to give us your VR dollars and not wait off for the big guy of Oculus over at Microsoft. I think that's their game plan. Me personally, I've already pre-ordered a PSVR, and they need to prove to me that my pre-order is well-founded, or else if Microsoft says, hey, year and a half, we're going to have Oculus, I may go over there, because right now Oculus is a pretty damn good system, and that headset is far better than the PSVR is, well, ever going to be, at least at the current PS4's levels, at the current PS4 graphics and capabilities. I think beyond that, I think Sony. Oh, I forgot one last thing. The Last Guardian. That needs to show its face. If it doesn't show its face, we haven't heard anything about that game since the last E3. And if all of a sudden it goes dark again, people are gonna just like be like, okay, Sony, you've done this one last time. It's just gonna be a giant joke. And of course, Horizon, which they already delayed, which is kind of unfortunate because that looked like an amazing game, and they needed a solid, big first party published game in that fall, in that holiday season, and now I don't see one for them. The only other game that it's not even mainstream very is Gran Turismo Sport. They had that press conference a couple weeks ago detailing it, and it's going to be out this holiday season. And that's their only other like big first party game, but it's not really first party, but it's exclusive to them. So, Polyphony is finally going to come out with a Gran Turismo, which they need to, because Forza has been kicking their ass for the last 5 years, because if you like sim racers, the only place you can get them is on the Xbox One. Which reminds me, Forza Horizon 3 over at the Microsoft press conference. Let's be honest here. It's gone Horizon Motorsport, Horizon Motorsport, Horizon Motorsport. Let's hope that they have decided to go for another Horizon. If not, it would be even better if they were like they established some sort of third pillar of the Forza chain, which I think that could either be they could either do some sort of Burnout game, or I would be super down for like a Dirt game. Like Dirt, the new Dirt that just came out is fantastic, and it is amazing, and I would love for Microsoft to take a swing at off-road racing as the third pillar of Forza, because Forza hasn't really done that. They did track with Motorsport. They did like the cruising with your friends and like the love of the car club culture with Horizon, and now the third pillar of car culture is off-roading. So that makes perfect sense to me. But who knows? It will be interesting to see. I can't wait for E3. I'll be covering it all this week. I'll probably be making tons of videos this week. So stay tuned right here if you need a quick recap or you want my thoughts on E3. Guys, my name's TommyBoy601. I hope you like this video. If you have predictions, once again, put them down below in the comments. I'll be happy to read them. Guys, my name's TommyBoy601. Hope you have a good day. See ya.